Start it. Hey, Karina, will you pull up like a Facebook page like Boat Rate Boot Camp just to make sure that you can hear us? Go live on Boat Rate Boot Camp. Go live. Let's see. We are live on YouTube and we are live on Boot Camp.
Yeah, I see you.
Yep.
Can I hear you?
Can you hear? And then photo
Yeah.
users
Yeah.
live. Yeah, it's taking a second.
Take this thing off of there.
There we go.
Hey, Jamie.
Yeah, you have to have the different instances up. So now we're good. All three. You ready? All right. Was James Quant's our last one? We did one before that. After that, right? No, no, no. I think we did one after that. No, we didn't. Yeah, we went after that. Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, but we've been busy. It's a busy season, so that's what happened. It seems like the wind is still the topic of conversation out there. Yeah, it's like it's it's a different kind of problem because when you have to account for the wind every time, it just throws another factor in there. It's like it's usually the sun, right? The sun's main factor when you come up there, then background, and then like crowd control. Where's everybody going to walk? And now it's the wind. You have to just another factor that you have to put in there. Makes it hard. No, it's not. And it and I've been thinking about that lately. So we don't do any like league volume composites, no green screen. We do next gen every once in a while when we have to, but not really. I mean, it's probably 1-2% of our business. So 98% of our stuff is going to be natural backgrounds. When you're outside like this for baseball and football and soccer, lacrosse, all those different sports, and you're fighting all these elements. We're going to be rained out this weekend for one league and two, but we're moving one inside. But there's so much to think about when it comes to doing outdoor stuff. And I don't know. I just feel like it would be easier to do the composites, the green screens, like as far as scheduling goes. You know what I mean? You just be done with it. You would never have any cancellations. And when we do go inside, we're always leaving like, man, that was pretty easy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't have to deal with the elements. Uh, so yeah, I mean, you start questioning yourself, but at the same time, I know what the back end of that is going to look like, and it's going to make it where it's just as hard. I mean, you do way more green screen than I do, so right, hmm right, right. It's some right. Pick snub. Mhm. Right.
Is that what you're calling about?
Right. Yeah, that's a good question. Coaches love it. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Mhm. Right. Yes. Yeah, yeah, I get it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They would remember those, yeah. Uh-huh. Mhm. Hmm. Right. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's just, it's but it's like we're right in the middle of the season, we're dealing with the wind and the rain, all that sort of stuff. It makes you, am I doing the right thing? But at the same time, I know that's what like we're having to move a softball park indoors, and they don't want to, which makes me really happy. Like we want the real grass, and we want so that part makes me happy. So I think we're doing the right thing because we keep growing. People like the look, but it's it's really difficult. But that can be an advantage too. Is that you're willing to go the extra mile to do that, and um, it's when you go to a shoot, you look at it, it's like a couple lights in a scrim. It doesn't look that complicated, but it is. It's really complicated, and having to think about where am I going to set up to where we're going to be successful all day long and not have to worry about the elements. Yesterday was, yesterday we, I know this. I know I got to be careful. I do it too much where I look due west. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go just a little bit north of due west right here. Was yesterday, and then I didn't go far enough north. And at one point it just got so bright right in my face. It was like I don't know. It was like a sunset, but it was the brightest sunset of my life, just beaming down on my face. I didn't get any camera flare, but I thought I was going to. You got to be so careful with that. But yes.
They can't hear Justin, I don't think.
Oh, Justin,
Somebody just.
hold on. I think we just Justin just gave us so much good information.
Really?
And
You're going to have to redo that.
let's see. Hold on, guys. I just found out that Justin. I thought
Says
we
all you
double
can
checked.
tell, Jay, we can't hear who he is talking to. All we can see is him and his side of the conversation. Thank you, Christy Fitzgerald.
Christy, thank you.
Well, Emily Hart Davis said so in the users group too.
We messed up. I messed it up. Imagine.
It's fine. Weird.
I'm fired. That's it. I tried 4 times to do a video at Boat Ride Boot Camp the other day. 4 times it took me.
We need a
Get the
production
audio right.
assistant. You need somebody to. What are they? Is that the producer's job? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fired.
So funny.
What's that?
I think they could hear me. I just think they couldn't see me.
What did it say? Oh, okay. Okay, we messed that all up. Justin just did a whole tutorial on green screen, told you exactly how to do it and how he averages $115 per sale, and everybody just missed it. I'm sorry.
It's false. He's lying. He's lying.
Sorry, guys. That was a whole like me being in despair over how hard this spring's been with weather, and Justin making me feel a little bit better by telling me how green screen is great, but
Yeah.
Tell them again.
The but. I could talk about it again, but right, it's a lot more work on the back end. So, and if you want to count hours and how much money you make per hour, depending on what your business model is, you make less money. I do, because my prices are the same. In my small market, I don't charge more, and maybe I should. There's
Right. But do
everybody
parents
does
see the
things
value in
different.
it? The parents are like, do they know that there was that much more effort put in on the
They
back
don't.
end?
They don't know the difference. They just want their photos. They don't.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, they just want to buy their photos. So however you get there, it doesn't really matter to them sometimes. So, but it matters to us. And some people have it down where they're a lot faster. But what we talked about that everybody missed was I can go shoot 10 teams in an evening and have that same gallery uploaded and ready for sale that
Just
evening.
on
I can't.
natural background, natural
Yeah, just
background.
on natural. I can't do that with green screen. It's a couple of days for me, period.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like PixNub's made everybody's job easier, and so is Next Gen if you want to go that route. But it's going to be a whole lot more difficult to get multiple poses, right?
yeah. Well,
I mean, it can be
and
done.
it can be done. It's not that much more difficult to get multiple poses. I don't think. I think you can get multiple poses pretty quickly. You're in a controlled environment indoors when you're doing that.
Right.
You're not dealing with the wind like we talked about.
Right.
You're not dealing with the outdoor elements. You're not dealing with sun flare. Like, what were you just saying about sun flare? You think you're
Yeah.
okay, you're looking at the back of your screen and you get home and there's that haze across it, because maybe the sun was just hitting your lens right. You didn't notice it on the shoot, and I hate that sometimes you'll miss a little speck on the end of your lens. You got a little dirt spot or something, or maybe an old watermark or something, from condensation or anything. And you'll have this perfect little orb, in wherever the dark spot of your images is for like 100 straight images.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate when I get home and see that.
Yeah, it's more like I just feel like sometimes I set up and I put it too much west, and then I know it's bad because we're looking right into the sun. And yeah, that so Friday when I go back out, I'm going to the same field, and so I'll just adjust a little bit. But and
you shoot under a tent sometimes, right? You use a tent to block that.
I don't.
You don't.
But sometimes it just gets in a position where there's absolutely nothing you can do without, and it only lasts for 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Because the sun at sunset, the sun's moving so fast that if you really mess it up, it's not going to last for that long. So you can make a quick adjustment, or Lisa's text calling me. So hopefully that does not mean. Can everybody hear us now?
Hello, Bueller.
Emily Davis. Can you hear us?
She says she can't hear me.
Christy says fixed.
What's that?
She says it's fixed.
Oh, okay. Looks like we're good. Thank you, Christy.
Emily's speaking at Sync this year. Did you see that? Good for
I
her.
did. Emily
I'm excited for her.
Davis.
Yeah.
So, what I want to tell you about? Hold on, it'll come to me. But yeah, we need to. I was thinking about we need to talk about Photo Day a little bit, and how great they are, and how great Reedy Lab is, and how great Robert's camera is. So we want to give us free stuff.
Yeah. Well, they don't give me free stuff. They give you free stuff.
I don't give free stuff. You see this T-shirt right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I paid for that. Look,
that's true.
You see that?
Yeah, it's nice. I wish you would have got me one that fit. I would wear it.
Yours
got
doesn't
me a
fit. Well, that's
medium.
not.
Fix the tag. You look like a dork. Fix that tag.
Well, yeah. So, anyways, I want to get that out of the way. I don't know. I think that I missed the last Trailblazer meeting? They're coming out with some cool stuff by the way.
Yeah. Have you ever made a Trailblazer meeting?
I have. So a Photo Day, if you're a Photo Day user, they have Trailblazers, which are the people who first adopted Photo Day. And we were one of the first, along with Justin and the Shooks and who was
Martins?
just did it? The Martins did a great interview this week. Ed is
I
the
haven't
guy
watched
you
that
need to
yet.
get. Oh, I've watched like the first half hour, and Ed is brilliant. Of course, Kathleen has all the photography talent, but Ed with all his organizational stuff, it's ridiculous. All his automation is, yeah. Every time he starts talking, I'm like, we need to hire Ed for some consulting work because he's really
Everybody
good.
needs to hire Ed. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
Ed is.
he's amazing at all that.
Yeah, and he just got like passively says, "Yeah, I built the NASCAR game for EA Sports." So, I mean, like
I used to play
passively,
that
like,
game. It's awesome.
yeah.
Well,
I mean,
Kathleen got to
Ed,
go shoot all the tracks too for that, which is
yeah. So
pretty awesome.
they're a pretty cool couple. So, anyway, so they had trails, and they always have these Blazer meetings. But I'm always shooting. Like every time I'm on the way to a shoot, I can't do it. So, and they have to make it in the afternoon. So because you sleep in daily, and so they have to make it later on in the afternoon when you're up.
You think it's all just around my schedule?
Yeah, it's around your schedule. If you didn't have a
I
West
don't.
Coast look,
I can't talk about anything that we talk about in the Trailblazers meetings because I don't know what's secret and what's not, and I get yelled at every time because I say the wrong thing. So it's
that is true.
Lisa's going to have to comment. Maybe we just have to have Lisa as a guest speaker.
Yeah,
We should have Lisa. We should have John Scott from Roberts.
yeah,
And why not Stan Reedy? Like we just need to have that call.
yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Stan with Reedy Labs, he's been fantastic. I got a. Did you see that? I had I took a photo of a weatherman's child apparently on Facebook.
Yeah, that went super viral. But was it you
Yeah.
that took it or was it Jody?
Oh yeah, it was Jody.
Yeah.
I think it was Jody. I still don't know for sure. I need to look at, but she's been, yeah. Look, so back there is, you know what? I got another Alabama girl. Look, can you see back there? That's Jody's sister.
Oh, another new hire. You're growing.
Yeah. All North Alabama girls. They're fantastic.
Did they all play basketball too?
Yeah, Jamie was really good at basketball. Yeah, she was really good at basketball. So apparently where their high school is, they've won the state championship 5 years in a row.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So they're good at basketball and they're hard workers. So yeah.
I just did a senior portrait for a kid in a locker room yesterday, and their team.
That looked good.
Everybody was hoping
really
they were
good.
going to win state this year. They took
Can
third.
we talk about that photo for a second? Can you put
they were
it
disappointed.
up on Can you put it on your screen?
Yeah, probably.
Can you share your screen?
Maybe.
Because that was finally something good from Justin Grafton.
Oh my goodness! Oh my! Let me find
something Trailblazer worthy. Finally.
That's not very nice. I got too many things in Lightroom here. Hold, please.
Yeah, that was good. You told me your vision before you went there, and you really did a good job pulling that off.
Yeah, I kind of, like anything, I kind of wish that it. Let me find it here. Getting the smoke to show up more is important, and I think I did okay. I think I can do better. That
is something you definitely have to experiment with.
Yeah, depending on what I think I didn't shoot this at 2.8, because I didn't shoot it with a neutral density, so I think maybe I could have done that and maybe done. Let's see, settings. Will it let me share my screen? Start screen share. Yeah.
Let me see.
How's that?
There we go. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That looks fantastic. Yeah. Okay, so wait. Don't say anything. I'm gonna look at it and see if I get everything right.
All right.
Okay, the first ones are easy. You have a yellow gel with the rim light. You can see the light. And the blue gel on camera left.
Yeah.
Let me see. I can't really see his face, but okay, that looks like the key light is straight down on him.
Yes.
Right above his head.
I'm using that Cambo stand for that, which worked out brilliantly. Yeah.
Yep, Cambo stand. Let me see. So I can see a little haze in there. I definitely see that. I think, I like that though, to be honest with you. I like the subtle haze where you can't really tell it's there unless you're really looking.
Uh-huh.
I really like that. Let's see. that Cambo has to be, of course, it's a little bit camera right, just a touch, because I have a highlight on his cheek.
I didn't try to move it right. I tried to put it right over the center. It might
Right
be
over-
off a little bit. You know,
A
you
little
can
bit,
tell by
that's
the
it.
shadow under his nose, the butterfly shadow there.
And I mean,
You-
is that did I get 3 lights? There's doesn't look like there's a hair light on there.
There's not a hair light, but there is one more light.
Okay, is it on the uniform down there? To the
No, I
camera,
had to. I lit the locker up behind him because you can just
okay.
see the shoe coming out the back. I got a little bit different angle where you could see all the shoes in there. Obviously, I got more angles than this one, but
Right.
I like
Yeah, but
this
that
one.
one looks fantastic.
You know, and here's the thing too. I look at this now and I'm like, why didn't I fix the collar on the jersey hanging? Right? What did I do that for? Why did I miss that?
Yeah. Well,
That's frustrating now that I see it. But you know,
yeah,
that's
but
what makes
a
us
volume
better
shoot, like,
tomorrow, right?
yeah, you're gonna yeah. But you know, and that's a lot of times, you know, you have to figure out how to, if you're out there trying to study somebody's lighting, you have to be able to look at the shadows and tell what's what, right? Don't you see that all the time? You know, we're not going to just tell you everything. You need to go out there
Yeah.
and look at people's photos and dissect them and try to figure out where the lights are, you know?
Right.
And then that's going to serve you way better trying to figure it out on your own than somebody just telling you. You need to be able to read the light. And so that way, when you get on the shoot, you can be like, okay, I think I'm missing something right here. If somebody's just going to tell you everything and you try to imitate it exactly, well, when things change a little bit, if the sun is in the wrong spot, or, you know, you have to move a light because there's not enough room in the lockers, then you have to be able to adjust on the fly and not just have people tell you what's going on. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah, you got to understand that. You got to understand your ratios and stuff too, right? You know, if you're trying to keep everything, you know, you want a pretty even image. Obviously, I always want the brightest thing to be somebody's face. You know, that's what I shoot for a lot.
Right.
Shooting with blue and yellow and smoke was kind of difficult with this shot, right? Trying to make sure I got the kick on him, different colors, because that's the school colors, you know.
That's difficult because you get that main light could possibly drown out that
all
yellow light there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a tough one. I think that's, you know, why smoke on a volume shoot is a really tough one to do. Like, you know, I figure 50 or less, right?
Yeah, I don't think you could do it for 1,000. You know, there's not enough.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe you could. I didn't use a smoke machine. This is aerosol. That aerosol smoke.
Right.
That
Yeah, but
haze.
if you did a big league like that, you'd have to literally have somebody manning that smoke machine, and then some way to get the smoke out of the scene when you need to clear the scene, because it, you know, there's so much haze. But then the cans would cost too much money.
Right.
Well, that's, you know, James Quantz was talking about, like, he has some solutions that, you know, he might have for us, which is pretty cool. I think some of it might have to do with buying one of those filters, you know, the mist filter.
Yeah. I remember we
I've
talked
never-
about that a little bit. I'm interested
Yeah.
in that.
I am too. Like, I mean, I
But
don't
will
think
it-
we'd
Is it going to make your picture a little blurry though? Like, are you
I
going to
don't
have a
know.
sharp image still? I don't know. That's why I want to test that.
would it be
For
too
sure.
artsy for a volume shoot? Because it would be super cool, like on a 101 senior shoot. But if you had it for a whole league, could you imagine if you did that for a whole league and it was like half the people were
Right.
like,
Just worked. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. I mean, I've done that too, where I've used gels and like had the red gel look too pink. You know, have you had that where you just didn't quite
yeah.
get the ratio right? You know, I think
Yeah.
that's part of the learning process, right? So
Yeah, and the constant light's pretty cool. Like, I'm gonna do constant light today, with a league, because we're doing it inside, which I hate, but we're doing it inside. So I think I'm gonna bring out the Pavo tubes and a constant light. But I'm gonna use the constant light because I think it's easier to get not drowned out the scene, because it's what you see is what you get. You know what I'm saying? Like, you put that.
yeah.
I'm gonna put the one that I'm using right now. I'm gonna put that on the athlete and use the Pavo tubes, and it, you know, I don't have to guess on the flash. Just, you know, the flash hitting those tubes and drowning out all the color in them. So
No, I've
it'll be
used
interesting.
constant light and flash before, especially if you're shooting at 2.8 and you don't need a super bright. Well, you need super bright kickers is what I've used before, but I made homemade daylight balanced tubes out of, you know, a couple fluorescents that were daylight balanced, and then I used flash for the front on like 1/28, you know, really super low.
Right.
And you
Right.
can blend those two things too, and that helps freeze that picture pretty good too. If you're having to drag the shutter or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. I'm gonna do it today, and it's kind of like we're not sure if this is gonna be a big ordering team, but since it's not, it's a little bit. It's going to be a little bit more of a pain of a setup because I don't, do the Pavo tubes that much. So it's going to take me a little bit longer to set up. However, if it's kind of for a customer who got us a league that we've had for years now, and they were the ones that got us in. So we want to make sure that we take care of them since they moved on, show our appreciation. So it's kind of outside of what we normally do. So I figured that we would, I'm just going to do that because I'm going to practice. You know what I'm saying? Like there's one school of thought like, hey, they're not going to order that much. It's not going to be that big of a shoot. So just do the same thing you always do and just make it quick and easy and be out of there. But I kind of look at these opportunities as like, well, if it doesn't really matter, I'm going to have a bunch of athletes who are already dressed up. Why not try something a little bit different? So then I'll know if I can do it like this. If I want to do a bigger shoot, I have this big softball shoot that's going to be inside of a gym. Well, if I go tonight and the photos look awesome, maybe I want to do the same thing this weekend.
Yeah. No, that's cool. What size are those Pavo tubes you're using? Because they show up nice.
They're pretty big. Hey Jamie, will you throw me that bag right there?
Hey, this bag?
Yes.
I love that all your gear's all over the floor.
Yeah, we have cameras.
It's really, really safe. Safe working environment you have. Nice.
These so I've got 3 R6s with 7200 lenses and 3 Lumixes sitting there, and that's like all of our cameras. So we come up here, we just plop them down.
Well, you've been using that 24-70 lately, though, too, huh?
Yeah, I used it last night on a kid that I've been shooting since he was, 5th grade. Now he's a senior, So this is the Pavo. It's pretty big. 3 foot. 3 foot guy. The Nanlite.
And how many you got? 2 of those or 3?
Two of these guys.
And they're RGB. They can be any color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's I left it on, so I have no battery.
You better charge it. Good thing you pulled it out.
I know. Yeah, I don't even know where the other one is. I need to find it. But yeah, it's around here somewhere. But yeah,
Well, you got those from John Scott, right?
Yep, Robert's camera. Yeah, got them. So yeah, they're really cool to mess around with. So I'll use this today, see how those images turn out. But yeah, but I'm going to use this constant light that I have here. It's a Nanlite, and I have this thing literally on 5% power right now. It's so bright, and that's the thing. I don't think that constant lights is going to replace flash anytime soon because that key light right there is so freaking bright. When you turn it to 100%, you can't even look at it. You know what I mean? Just having that constantly shining in your face, as little kids would be crying. There'd be tears
it's like
everywhere.
The sun just right in their face.
Yeah, just right in your face. Yes, there's no way it's going to be flash. Like I was always wondering, like everybody's saying how constant's going to take place of flash and all that sort of stuff. Indoors, maybe that makes sense, but outdoors, there's no way. It'd be too bright.
Yeah.
And little kids, can you imagine putting this light here on a 3-year-old and cranking it up to 100%?
No, they would not like that.
There'd be tears everywhere. They can't even look at a field. Like if you have a field that is bright, if you put them in the dirt, just a reflection of the sun from the dirt, they can't see.
Yeah.
So I don't think we would do that at all. Yeah. So.
Well, that'd be cool. I'm interested to see them. Yeah. You shoot with your flag background?
No, I'm just going to let it go black.
Okay.
I'm going to go black. But, yeah, I mean, but this weekend's another thing where, I got to figure out this team shot indoors to where I don't have to mess with it at all.
Yeah.
That's going to be a boot camp 2.0. We're going to mess around with that till we get it perfected. And then we're going to talk about how to shoot team shot on a background indoors and have it look cool and match your individual photo. That's a tough thing.
Maybe it's a thing where you just set up Elastolite just for the team shot, I don't know.
What do you mean? Oh,
you just have them once they're done with their individual, then just run them over for, one quick shot so you can composite them up. But try to match the background you're shooting, I think you have to have, it needs to be synchronized, it needs to look the same.
Yeah, have the same theme at least to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I still think that Quants is the Pro Light mods is going to be the way to go for that.
Just buy a
I
big
do.
black sheet background. Just buy,
Yeah,
I don't know, that spandex, that white spandex I bought. I'm really considering buying a black one, a
yeah,
big one, like a 20 by 10.
yeah. So I think that that's going to be something fun to go through, like to get that. It's going to be pain, but I think that getting something like that where you can do it indoors is going to be valuable.
Well, and then you got to have the space for it too. I'm usually in a hallway that doesn't have any of that. That's the other thing that, you know, the high schools love. They can just throw me in the corner and I don't take up much space too. When you shoot on
Yeah,
green screen or Lasto, yeah.
yeah, that's a good question. And at some point, though, don't you have to? At some point, where do you say, "All right, I can't do my job if you do this"? No, you know what I mean? Like, I mean,
I'm, yeah, I mean, it's hard. You have to stand up for yourself a little bit sometimes, but I know people don't like that when you're trying to, you're walking on eggshells with clients, right? You don't want to make them mad. You want to help them, but you want your business to succeed. So there is a happy medium there. And I think you have to be able to justify it when you start complaining. Can you do it differently in order to appease them? Yeah. Is it worth it to you? That's the question.
yeah, I mean, there's something to be said for, we always say we can make anything look good outdoors. There's a professionalism there. Like, hey, even in outdoors, I feel like we can pretty much make any spot work. But indoors is a whole different question, because we've been just found out that we're taking a volleyball league and they're putting us in an exercise room, and we usually have the volleyball court. So
Yeah.
how big is the exercise room? And at what point we're like, okay, this is just not doable. We have to change our whole workflow for that, and
Right.
do a composite or a team shot, like you said, but we're not even like good at that. It's not our thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just, that's
So then are they your client? That's the question. Is that still your client then? Right.
that's a big old client. So I need them to be my
Well, there's your
I need
answer
them to be
then.
my guy. Yeah. So we got to figure it out.
Yeah.
So we have to figure it out. So,
Hmm.
uh, yeah, so I have some time. I have a few weeks to figure that out, but yeah, that's a tough one. I do think, like, for smaller or a new customer, you can control that more, right? Like, hey, if you want this look, this is what's required, and we can't do any. If you give us a hallway, it's not going to happen.
Right.
You called us because you want us to produce this kind of quality photo, and we can't, given the location you've given us. So, but we really don't. It doesn't happen much. Every once in a while, it happens. But
Yeah, it happens to me quite a bit. So
yeah,
yeah, I mean, we're
well, because you're
definitely
in Oregon.
secondary. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, photographers come second to what some people's priorities are, right? And that's
Mhm.
just a reality. And so you have to advocate for yourself for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, when Crean told me about my shoot today, I wasn't that excited about it because I'm like indoors, and going back to like indoor outdoor conversation is, I had some pretty cool skies last night. We all did, both individual photographers and the team photographer had some really cool skies to work with, and you would never get that opportunity with being indoors green screen, right? Like,
Right.
I would say that, even the photos before the sunset, they were still good, if you gave it 8 out of 10, right? But the opportunity at the end of the shoot where we have an hour to shoot with a sunset, you get we got a lot of kids in that have some cool skies. And some of those photos are like 10 out of 10. They're awesome.
Yeah.
They're so unique and they're so cool. And you never get those opportunities if you're always inside, you're always doing green screen. So,
Right.
that's an advantage. It's an
Yeah, that's
advantage.
a huge advantage. I mean, when you get good clouds and good light, you can't beat that. Especially if you know
No.
how to take advantage of it.
And it's so much fun when you take that photo and you see it like in the camera. Those of you who are not using mirrorless cameras, you can't enjoy this quite as much. But if you're using a mirrorless camera, as soon as you take that photo and you see it in the viewfinder, Yeah, that's amazing. You get so excited about
Yeah.
it. So I don't think you get that with, maybe you do some because you get a good pose from
Well,
a
you can
kid,
look
or
at the LCD, but looking through the viewfinder with a good viewfinder, there's nothing compares to being able to, you don't need that loop anymore. You don't need any of
yeah.
that. So,
But what I'm saying is, though, like if you're shooting green screen all day or you're shooting a last light all day, right? Is there, like, I guess you can have a kid that maybe you didn't think was going to look good behind the camera, and you take the photo and it surprises you how good they look, and you're like, oh, that's awesome, you know.
yeah.
But with the sunsets or natural backgrounds, I think you get a lot of those more exciting moments when something happens, a cloud hits a certain way, or the skies, the sky is really vibrant, or you switch up a pose with the kid. I did that last night. Like, I was able to, I can move the kid around, outside, where you can't necessarily do that with the last light. It has to be in the same spot, right?
Yeah.
So, in order to get all your ratios and all that sort of stuff right, it needs to be in the same exact spot. So when you're outdoors, you're so much more flexible with what you can do. You can adapt and you can change things up on the fly. And so there's a few times last night that I just took fantastic photos. And Jody was the same way. Jody was sitting next to me taking photos, and she took a couple and she ran over and was, showing off her pictures. And I don't know that you do that inside. It kind of takes the fun out of it, is what I'm saying. Is that true or no?
Yeah, no, that's totally true. I mean, I shooting indoors, kids will want to come see their photos sometimes right at the end of the shoot or whatever. And I always say, well, it's just the green screen. So yeah, I always revert to it doesn't look great.
Because you can see it. You can see
Yeah.
what, like, in your mind's eye, you see like that's going to look awesome, but they
Yeah.
can't see it. But if you're on a natural background, I showed a dad last night who flipped out. You show him this because it's the final. That's what it's going to look like. It's going to
Yeah.
look a little bit better, Oh, what's so funny about Jody last night? She came over running to me. Jody's my second shooter. Jody and Scott are the 2 second shooters, and Jody was shooting last night. Scott was doing sales, and she ran over to me and she was talking about how awesome her photo was. She goes, look at this, because the clouds were awesome, right? And it was a little girl, and she was like, what was she doing? She was like this with the baseball bat, right? I was like, that's great, except the hands are wrong. She's like, what are you telling
Yeah.
my hands wrong? So, well, they're left-handed. It should be over here. Right? She's pissed.
I get that. Kids will tell you too, like if you pose them right,
Yeah.
and then you get the bottom hand right, you always want to, obviously you want to get the hand switched depending on what side the bat's on. That's an important thing for baseball players. And
Yes.
if they're left-handed and you have them set up right-handed, they get pissed. They don't like that. They want,
and you gotta,
they want to show they're left-handed.
I asked the coach. I don't even ask the kid. Like, you left-handed?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah. And I'm like, coach, are they left-handed? Because it's like the 4th lefty in a row. Like, no, they're not left-handed. They're right-handed. Yeah. So that happens. Well, that's one of the reasons why I started doing, why I was interested in doing team and individual photography, because I thought I could do a better job than the league photographer, because my oldest son had a T-ball photo and it was up on a refrigerator for years, and it pissed me off every time I saw it because his hands weren't right.
Wrong.
Yeah, he had a lefty grip. He had a lefty grip like this.
Yeah.
It's like, why is his right hand on top? Could the photographer not have just at least, like, he was all twisted, and he was a pretty good athlete. So I'm like, could they not have like squared him up a little bit, and his hips were all messed up, and then his hands were all, it's like they just didn't give one damn about it.
Yeah.
Didn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I first started, I cared too, but like my lighting would be set up for all righties, and I used to pose kids in their batting stance, right? And they'd always have an arm tucked up. It's just such a wrong way to do it in my book these days, now that I know better. That's why it's nice when the bat's on their shoulder. You can see them. The portrait's about them. They're playing baseball, and you can switch your hands depending on what side the bat's on. And the lighting works both ways now, but back when I first started doing this, you get a lefty and they were like facing completely away from the light. It wasn't a good look ever.
Yeah.
And I didn't know any better back then. So I think back about those times and think, oh man, I feel bad, because some of those pictures are still on magnets on refrigerators somewhere.
Justin got the studios. Yeah, I mean, the hands the hands is just one of the many pet peeves I have with posing, and you just got to get it right. And that's stuff that it doesn't matter if you know anything about lighting, right? You don't have to, you can there's no excuse for a bad pose. if you're super busy and you shot 400 kids and you miss a string
You
hanging
say
out,
that,
yes.
but you're so good at posing compared to most. And that
Yeah.
I honestly think that separates a lot of photographers these
Right.
days is posing. It's so much more important than I used to give it credit for.
Yeah.
So you say it like it's simple, but some people it's not easy. They don't catch it all.
No, I
Yeah.
agree. And I mean, even the kids that we have, say kids, the young adults who are working for me, assistants, like they're really good at it. They're better at it when I'm on their ass about it. But they can get sloppy sometimes, and
Yeah.
we're really detailed about our posing, and that's a lot of what we do when we talk to photographers at boot camp. Is like, how do you pose and how do you do it quickly, so that way the kid looks good and you can keep the line moving. And we've had a couple shoots here recently where we were so busy, like the team area got backed up, and I would send my assistant over to help the team. And so that means that I was, posing and shooting by myself. So I'm jumping up, running over, posing, and it's funny how you have to have so much energy with the athlete in order for them to get to stay still. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you go over
Yeah.
there and you're all lazy and you're like, just kind of lethargic and you don't have like a high energy level, then they're just going to like fall apart. They're just like a wet noodle.
Yeah, they're just slouch. They're just like whatever,
Right. Yeah, but if you're
Stick their
like
head the wrong way.
we're hustling, like let's get this done, like and we're up there, I'm grabbing them, don't move, don't constantly giving them instructions. When I get back and I sit in my chair, which is 10 feet away or whatever, they don't move. You know what I mean? They don't move, and you can go fast.
Yeah.
You can even go fast if you have to do it by yourself. But it has to be like you have to have a little bit of energy with it. You just can't be, lackadaisical. If you're going to be lazy, they're going to be lazy. You have
Absolutely.
to be able to have that energy to go with them. But at the same time, I love that. Like that's a fun part of my job is being able to, have that challenge of being able to talk to kids and get them excited and get them to stay still. Now when they don't stay still, it pisses me off. But I mean, I'll tell them. But
we could talk about the unfun parts. We could have a whole nother episode on that. But
yeah. Paul Elise, did you see Paul Elise? He's a boat ride boot camper, and he does amazing work. If y'all haven't seen Paul Elise's stuff, you have to go check it out. He is like extremely detailed. If I was going to do a lot of he does a lot of team backdrop stuff, right? Cutouts. Like he doesn't do the individuals. He takes a photo of the team. And remember that time I showed you mine that you ridiculed for like a half hour in front of everybody?
That's like a minute, but yeah.
No, it's half hour. Paul,
there were no shadows.
Yeah, it's layout. So Paul's is like, have you seen his team photos are insane the way he
I don't think I've seen him. I don't think I've seen one team. He always posts individuals that are perfect.
No, you have got to see his team photos they're insane. They are so good. But he's got to spend some time on those things. Maybe he doesn't, but he's really connected with the PixNub guy. Like I think that they are like he's really detailed with that stuff. And anyways, he does. If I was going to do a team photo, and I get really good at it, I would just follow whatever Paul had to do. But anyway, he posted the other day that he's like, "Do you ever just get one of those kids that's just so there's not athletic bone in their body, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about posing?" And he's like, "I got a whole team of those. I swear, I had a whole league this week a couple of times. Just like
he had a keyword for it. I think I saw. Yeah, didn't he have a keyword for what he called them? Like little rascals or something? I don't remember.
So there was a keyword when the kid was just impossible. Yes. And so he relayed that keyword to the assistant so they would know to give up. Right.
So you'd be there all day. Yeah.
Just give up. Yeah. I need a keyword too, because I'm just like, okay, that's good. That's good. Because he's like, the assistant will just be standing there forever to get them to hold the bat up. And every time they're just, going. And then the worst is if you have a parent that's laughing or a coach that's laughing, like kind of, you don't get that as much as high schools, but you get some, you do sports as a coach is laughing because the kid's misbehaving. You're just like, oh my God, can we get just a little bit of participation here from somebody? Can somebody, I've been doing this all day. It's not funny. It's like, this is a joke. I'm not funny.
Right. You're 6 hours in. You're like, okay, listen, we've nailed it up to this point and now it's not working. And you think the common denominator is everyone else, but I get it. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's
So
funny after the fact.
yeah. All right, we've been on 45 minutes. Well,
Well,
we've
that's
been on
because we talk too
for
much. 40 minutes.
we've really 40 minutes because the first 5 minutes was me looking at the
You
camera.
cancel cultured me in the beginning. Yeah, you canceled me.
Yes, I know, and you have a new mic and everything.
I know. It's nice. Does it sound good? Is this thing on?
It sounds good, but how are you hearing me?
I hear you good. I got my
But how?
AirPods in.
Um,
You don't use your AirPods for that? You just use them for your phone?
I can, but I don't have I don't have that grizzly Oregonian beard to cover everything up.
It's secret. It's my secret stash.
Yeah,
In
you
my
can
ear.
just do it right there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's perfect.
No, this microphone's great. I love it. I bought a Lewitt because it
What
looks
is it?
different than everyone else's. It's a Lewitt 540 Sub-Zero.
That's what it's called. Is it
Yeah.
a mic just for web, or is it do everything?
Well, this one's good because it'll do instruments really well. It's just got a really low noise floor, apparently. You know, I wanted the Howard Stern microphone, but it's $1,300, so I was gonna buy that one. Yeah, I don't have that
And
kind of
so
money
does
to
that
blow
one
on a microphone.
like that's that thing in front of you like a de-esser type thing?
I guess, yeah. I have a problem with S's anyway. But this is a pop filter, yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
I don't know.
Sounds
I
good.
like it so far.
I don't think your
I don't
lighting is
know.
as good as it usually. It's not as good as it usually is.
Well, I got the ring light up higher. It's not right in front of the camera, so that I can, because it's like we were talking about. You just sit there and squint into it. Yeah, I glow and look beautiful, but I do anyway.
You're not glowing?
I'm glowing. Yeah, just not how I
so
could glow.
funny.
I could glow brighter.
Oh goodness! All right. Okay. All right. Here we go.
We're done.
We're done. You got anything else?
I don't. Are there any questions we need to answer? We never answer
don't think
people's
so.
questions. And
I don't
I think
think so.
everybody gave up asking questions because we don't answer them.
Yeah. Oh, did you see the article about the Katie and Life Touch? How the parents were upset about the
Yeah, I think Lisa
the
posted
cost of it.
something about that too. About
The
how
price.
photographers set the prices, but really it's the schools and how much they get back. But then the schools don't take any responsibility for that.
Right. Well, people are complaining about how much the senior photos were, and it's like they actually made a news story about that, and it's like, come on, parents have to take some bit of responsibility. I mean, you don't have to spend $2,000 to $3,000 on your senior photos if you don't want to.
Right. They've been hammering Katie lately, I've noticed down there. Like, that's not the first news story I've seen. That's like the third or fourth one.
Right. That just doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, I mean, why are you blaming? Like, you don't have to do it. Like, it is voluntary. Like, I know you have to go take the senior photo. We had to do it, right? And you know, sometimes those, you know, we had a couple of different companies take our kids' senior photos, and they'll price it in such a way to where if you want to buy 8x10, you're going to spend $500. Like, you can't buy an a la carte 8x10. But
yeah,
you know, there's reasons behind that. That, you know, parents don't know about the reasons behind it, about all the deals on the back end, that sort of thing. But there is an option not to buy anything, or just, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to buy anything. You can get your own photographer. So don't blame the photographer if they're charging a certain price. I mean, I'm not quite sure why it's a news story. It's not price
I don't
gouging,
know.
is my point.
I don't get
My
it either.
opinion.
I don't. Yeah, no, I agree. You know, you're not forced to spend that money. I don't think. You know, I don't know.
Right.
They do it different down there. You guys have to go to a specific photographer for your senior portraits. Up here, it's they can choose whoever they want. It doesn't. There's nobody that's contracted that you have to go to. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what is. I mean, the thing is, the school wants so much. I mean, the thing is, the school wants a photographer to take the action photos and sports photos, do a bunch of work where they're not going to make any money, right? So if they're going to do all this work where they're not going to make any money, then they have to make up for it somewhere. Somebody's got to be making. I mean, what's the point? Nobody will be doing it then. So, I mean, I get that, but. And they also, some of those companies, you know, they build these big, beautiful studios. They have some overhead. I mean, there's a lot of factors to it, but to blame it all on the studio, I think is ridiculous.
Yeah. Lisa says I can choose here too, but you have to have the yearbook photo by the contracted photographer. And then do you have to pay to have that yearbook photo done, or is it just you have to go down and see them so that you make the yearbook?
Hey, Karina, do we have to pay to have the kids' yearbook photos done?
I think it was like $25.
It's $25.
Hmm.
$25. I mean, but the
Spend
thing
more than
is
that on your kids at lunch at McDonald's.
yeah, I mean, I guess it's just something for somebody to complain about. But it's, you can get your own photographer. I mean, I took pictures of my kids, of course, but you don't have, I think we still bought a few $100s though. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I bought a canvas.
yeah, she bought a canvas. Yeah. There was no hair light, so our one child with dark hair just looked like he had a forehead. But it was done. You know what I'm saying? That is like we ordered it, they sent the canvas to us, and it was done. There's something said for that too. It's like there's not, we didn't have to do any work. So
Yeah.
what do you do?
I don't know. Just don't spend the money if you don't want to. Period.
Yeah. All right, bye. I'm done.
All right, bye.
Talking to you.
Get out of here.
Next week. All right.
We'll be on time next week. Maybe Sunday?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait. Sunday's Easter
What?
Sunday.
Is it Easter?
It's Easter's.
We're halfway through April. How is Easter so late this year?
It's Easter's.
I don't understand. It's sometimes in March. It's sometimes in April.
I don't know. I don't know either. I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's middle of March or middle of April, and we're just having Easter.
Yeah.
My daughter was born on Easter on March 30th one year.
Oh, really?
But Easter's never the same day. Maybe somebody can tell us in the comments.
Yeah,
somebody smarter than me. Yeah, I'm sure.
All right, so next week.
All right.
Sometime.